Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Libra energy. Oh gosh. Oh well, I guess we got a lot of cards that aren't showing themselves, so we'll take them. We're going to see what the story is, and then we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because everybody's at kind of different emotional maturity levels in their Libra energy. You know, we can either try to present ourselves as more just, fair, stable, balanced, loving, or we can just create the illusion of that. We either are that or we're not. And this could be something that is more going on with people who might be a Libra sun, moon, or rising sign, or have significant Libra placements, but it could just be going on in Libra energy, and we all tap into Libra energy in a more high vibe, worldly, or shadowy way of being. We've got a lot of cards not showing itself. So the only card showing itself is the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius energy, which can be, everybody could be trying to do this work to kind of maintain balance. And a typical, like, Rider-Waite deck of the Temperance card, it shows the person pouring the two cups together. One is fire, so all these things that we're kind of motivated and inspired by in the world, and then water. So trying to balance between the fact that I'm motivated and inspired to do whatever it is I'm motivated and inspired by, but fire sign energy can be our more immature nature, being more about ourselves, our ego. And so we try to balance that out with our emotional nature to not just be more about ourselves and our ego and our image and immature nature, but to balance it with love and listening to our intuition. And if we want to be in deep, meaningful relationships, you know, it can't just, that's Scorpio, we can't just be more about ourselves. And there's some people that are also, Sagittarius is about higher learning and education. So some people have kind of wrapped their brain around this game of life. And one of the things they really could have learned is I need to learn how to maintain balance within myself. And if I want justice in the world and I want to be in more just and fair relationships with other people who are inspired to be just and fair, and I need to temper myself if I want to be in relationships with other people who temper themselves. And they're really probably doing this work within themselves to not take action more out of getting up in their head or their fear or their insecurity or their lust or their greed or their pride or their ego, but maintaining balance within themselves, taking action in alignment with their truth. The people who could be having a harder time right now could be people who are trying to present and the illusion they're more tempered and balanced and mature than they really are. And especially if people are in a more mismatched relationship where someone knows they're maybe more immature or like to be more bossy or controlling or something, and they're trying to be in relationships with people who aren't that, and they're trying to temper themselves to not act out in certain ways because they're trying to accomplish something, right? So I view this as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Tower card. So the Tower card can be that some people are very unstable, you know, and some people have already dealt with the truth and kind of wrapped their brain around some things that they kind of realize that were unstable, things within themselves. Like, if I take action this way, that's kind of taking me down the wrong path. So they've probably already dealt with the truth because high vibe energy is dealing with the truth. And so some people are who they say they are. They are very tempered. They are very balanced. They are very just. They are very fair. They are authentic. and they're inspired by truth and love and justice and fairness. And again, some other people are more unstable, but they're trying to maybe present themselves as more stable than they are. At the heart of the reading is the sun, which is Leo energy, which could be, again, are people more motivated and inspired by their ego nature, and they want these things, but because they want these things, they're just really trying really hard to not, they don't want people to see the truth. The sun is about dealing with the truth. The tower is about dealing with the truth. And some people, they do not want to see the truth, and they don't want other people to see the truth. And at the end of the story, we have the Six of Swords, which is people want to move forward to like bring a dream into reality. And so, again, some people are doing that work within themselves, and some people, shadowy energy can be like trying to cheat the justice system. I might be more immature, I might be more bossy and controlling, I might be more materialistic, I might wear a false mask, and those people either are just indulging themselves in something for as long as it does last, and people don't see the truth. Perfect. You don't see the truth about me, don't want to see the truth about me, haven't learned the truth of me, I'll keep indulging myself in the relationship. That could be shadowy fire energy. Other people are trying to move something forward, but they are being shadowy. High vibe people are doing this work within themselves to move forward, and they're going about it in a very patient, balanced way. So, what else is going on in Libra energy? We have the Hierophant, the Temperance card, and the Star card. Let's just flip these over too. We got the Queen of Cups, the Sun, the Seven of Cups, the Seven of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the King of Swords. Well, the way this could be read, for people who harness these energies in a more shadowy way, they could have a way of viewing life, and they have a way of viewing life that we'll all repeat certain patterns until we're willing to see the truth, speak the truth, heal, love ourselves, believe in ourselves, have more hope and faith and belief in ourselves and in our dreams and in others and in love. And some people don't in their philosophy of life. That is not their truth. And so they could be more about in the Hierophant, which is Taurus, and the Star, which is Aquarius, and the Six of Swords is Aquarius. They could harness a more worldly, shadowy view of life that, it's more about the ego, the image, the status, or them. And they could be trying to hide that truth from people and trying to move things forward in a relationship. In the Queen of Cups, the Sun, and the Seven of Cups, kind of trying to create an illusion about who they are, why other relationships didn't work out, trying to get other people to move forward with them in a relationship. The shadowy people are defensive to love, and harnessing high vibe Cancer and high vibe Libra energy in the King of Swords. They want to cross the bridge, kind of, without, it's like people want to be in jobs, friendships, or relationships, but they could be more about wanting to repeat some old patterns, trying to manipulate people about the truth of who they are, but they really don't want to do love. That isn't their truth. That isn't what drives and motivates them. But, they want to be in friendships and relationships with people too, and be looking like they're moving forward victoriously and successfully, like they've gotten justice in the world. Libra is represented by the scales of justice. And to look like they're moving forward in life, like they've healed, they've grown, they've matured, just like other people in the world. But for some of them, they haven't. They're just trying to create the illusion that they have. They could be in a relationship right now, or a workplace. The Hierophant energy of Taurus can represent all these different institutions of the world, from your family, your friend group, your relationships, your marriages, your workplaces, and trying to maintain balance within themselves because they have this dream. Both the Six of Swords and the Star card are Aquarius energy, which can be about that we have this dream. Some people are hiding that it is more about them or their ego, that's more why they do what they do and why they emotionally invest in certain friendships, certain relationships, or certain jobs, is it's just more for how it benefits them. And the problem is they do kind of have these illusions about what it means to be in relationships in the Seven of Cups, but in the Tower card, they don't want to see the truth of it. Could they benefit from, if they were to look at, what things have worked out in the past, what kind of lessons have I learned? They've probably had some jobs, friendships, and relationships that didn't work out the way they wanted, but they keep refusing to see the truth. Like they could have some habits, they could have some behaviors, they could have some vices, they could have some ways of what they think is like just and fair in a relationship, maybe of how to treat other people, but they keep not wanting to see the truth of it. Some people could have a certain status or image in the world. In a lot of ways, they could look like they have justice in the world, and they could kind of count on the fact that they look a certain way, have a certain amount of status or image in the world, or things like that to carry them through, and hope that for those reasons, people will kind of have some mental conflict and inner conflict about listening to their intuition, because again, anybody can wear a false mask, and male or female people can present themselves. I view the King of Swords as Libra energy. I am who I say I am. I present myself as this just and fair person. I do maybe have this certain status or image in the world. And because of that, other people who can be drawn and attracted to being in a relationship with them. They don't seem as immature as other people I was in a relationship with. They seem more balanced. They seem more stable. They seem more grounded. They seem to have learned some of these lessons in life. It's just that for some, it's all an illusion. Could they have stability and security and have positions of power or influence in their life, or different things that make them appear more stable and grounded? But like emotionally, they're not motivated by love, and it's more just wanting to indulge themselves emotionally in relationships, but they don't want people to know that, or it's really just more about them and their ego and their image, and they don't want other people to know that, or it's all about not wanting to come out from behind their egoic. I view the King of Swords can be like a person's self-protective defensive nature, where they don't really want to come out from behind their ego nature, which makes them feel safe and secure and balanced. But of course, they don't maybe want people to know, oh, by the way, I'm defensive to that dream and taking that cup of love and being inspired by love to authentically do love. But I know how to act like a loving person. They've probably known and been in relationships or marriages or grew up in families with people who harness this energy in a more high vibe way, who really are who they say they are, have offered love to themselves to work through their illusions of being more stubborn or immature or more about themselves, to let go and have detached from their more being about themselves nature, to actually be inspired by love. And they really are who they say they are, and they are people who want to move forward in that way. That is their truth. That is their idea of the dream life. And other people can grow up and hang around people in their families and their friend groups and different relationships they've been in, that they know how to act like they're a less shadowy person. But for some of them, you know, it's all to create this illusion about who they are. But shadowy energy can be where people never want to see the truth. And the truth is, if you don't kind of do this work within yourself to kind of grow up and mature yourself, and the tower can be detaching from working through these things. Taurus, putting in work and effort to balance out your emotions, to look at life from a higher perspective, put things in perspective, offer love to yourself in these situations from your past, to get out of your ego and your emotional confusion about things in our life that didn't work out the way we wanted in the tower. So we can let those things go, and to see where we need to grow and heal and mature ourselves, see the truth of where other people in our life needed to grow and heal and mature themselves, deal with the truth, get out of your ego, get out of your defensiveness, get out of your immaturity, and be inspired to take that cup of love to get the justice you deserve by getting balanced within yourself. And I view high vibe Leo at the heart of the reading is learning to give yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you, to get you out of maybe more codependent energy. And some people haven't learned to love themselves. And so shadowy energy can be where you look outside of yourself for something to be the answer. Drugs, booze, food, getting in a relationship, you know, making your life more about what you look like or how much money you have or what you wear, blah, blah, blah. To have all those things, looking to those things to be the answer to make you feel more stable and grounded and balanced within yourself. Those things are just like a coat that you put on. It isn't solving the underlying problem. And some people, kind of their truth or their philosophy of life is that you don't have to deal with those things. That's like shadowy Scorpio. I view the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Cups as Scorpio. You don't have to deal with those things. And Taurus in the Hierophant is our philosophy of life. You don't have to deal with those things. You can just bury all those things under the surface. No, they'll be there. Like, put them in a box in the corner of your mind. Don't see the truth of any of those things. You don't have to deal with those things. That's our more immature, shadowy, egoic nature. If it's us who are doing shadowy things, I mean, for other people, it could be a lot of pain and heartbreak that people are working through. So basically, I don't mean to offend people, but we all know different people and we're all at different stages and we all handle things differently. But some people's philosophy of life is that uh, I don't have to do that work within myself. Maybe because I have a certain status or image, or I look a certain way, or I have whatever it is that they think. Some people's just all in their head. Um, and they could think that people should want to be in a relationship with them. And, if they indulge their more delusional nature and are full of themselves, they think other people should buy into that illusion and indulge them in this illusion. And people can, if people, again, are attractive, charming, smart, kind of have stability, security in their life in some way, but you can't maintain the illusion forever. you know Eventually other people, again, we can, it's kind of like being loving and encouraging to people, and wanting to get to know people. But some people's dream is where everybody is inspired in the Seven of Wands to offer love and to be just and fair and treat other people the way they like to be treated. And if it's a romantic relationship, it should be because of love. And eventually, the people who are more shadowy, who could kind of think, no, I don't have to do that, they could hope that other people will be willing to let go of their idea of what they think is just and fair and love, and hope that those people are kind of more codependent on them and just willing to stay in that job, friendship, or relationship in the face of being shown that this is not how it's going to move forward. And if they can find someone, other people worked at that job or in that friendship, in that relationship with people like that, and sometimes some loving people, get in more mismatched relationships, you know, um, they could be very loving and encouraging people, maybe to help other people love and believe in themselves. But eventually there comes a time where, we can't make other people get out of their ego, get out of their self-centeredness, get out of their immaturity, being more stubborn, being more full of themselves, being more self-indulgent. We can't make people see the truth of things or things that manipulate them. It could be some people love the world and they're so consumed by the world and wanting to look like a shining star in the world. And then again, the friendships and relationships they could get in, it's all more for those reasons. And the other people are like, what about being in the friendship and relationship because you authentically love me and want to be in a relationship with me? It's like, that's not as important. Do I want you to maybe stay in the relationship? Yeah, it's good for my ego and my image, and you might help me maintain balance within myself, but I'm really driven by these things. It's like, if other people aren't equally as driven by those things, and those things is so important in their life, again, high vibe energy can be, what about a balance? When is enough enough? And we could all know people that are very driven and they could be wonderful people. And if we didn't have some people who are very driven and almost like, there'd probably be some inventions and things that were never made in the world, right? You know, different strokes for different folks and different people who are more willing to sacrifice their dreams for that bigger cause or something, if it really is a big cause. Well, we can all make some sacrifices in a relationship, but there too, when do I get to invest in my dreams sometimes can happen in a relationship. And it's like, well, no, you were never, it was always supposed to be more about me, or it was always supposed to be more about this. I thought, you know, and again, there can be people in the world who just want it to be more about them all the time, if it's a friendship or romantic or whatever, and it's like, well, you might think that's just and fair, but I don't think that's just and fair. And I feel like, if I've been more loving and encouraging to people to try to move something forward, eventually people might, stand up for themselves that I don't feel this is love. I think it either always has to be more about you, or it's always out of balance where I give, you take in some way. Um, or you could love even investing your time, energy, effort into certain things. Everybody can have their idea of the dream life. I want to do this, and I like doing this, and I like hanging out with these people, and I like doing that. And some people just want to keep moving forward like that forever, and other people could kind of get tired of it. And other people are like, I'm kind of ready to move forward and kind of detach from, I mean, if we look back at different ages of our life, like, you know, for some people, maybe going to the bar every weekend. Do I want to go to the bar every weekend all my life? No. I have a dream, and I could see if I kind of keep repeating. Taurus is earth sign energy, so it can be about investing our time, energy, and effort into certain things. If can I like and enjoy doing some of those things, just like I can enjoy friends and family or whatever, or workplace. Yeah, but if it seems like it stops me from being able to move forward, like it just seems like it's gotten out of balance, maybe that we have lost perspective. We're either so codependent on making our life about something, or high vibe energy is also being more independent and kind of realizing how different things and things we invest in, or people, like not willing to just be more independent. Um, we could kind of realize if we move forward in life a little differently, like, I don't kind of want to do that. We could find out that some people aren't as interested in being in friendship or relationship anymore. Like, can it not still move forward? Can I not do other things and still, you know, um, we can still be friends? It's like, no, if you're not doing this, then you just go on your own, you know, and you're not like part of the group anymore. Well, then you kind of feel like, gee, I thought we actually liked each other and loved each other. I just don't want to do that maybe as much as you want me to do it. Can I go to that function or whatever once a month and it's okay? And some people could have more of a fear of being more independent. Some people have less of a tolerance. Shadowy energy can be where people are trying to manipulate you or make you conform to a way of living life, or even just telling you what to do. It's like, I'm my own person. I'm not looking for someone to be a parent in my life. And I don't want to be a parent to other people, but we could be in friendships or relationships with people, who have people in their life that don't like them being more independent. And those people could more indulge those people and are afraid of being more independent or speaking up for themselves or loving themselves. Uh, we can all have people in our life, whether again it's friends or family members, that we would kind of like to have in our life. That was kind of the dream, that we're all going to be a part of each other's lives. But sometimes people have some people in their life that they make their life, they live their life a certain way, and it might not be being more independent, and you do make your life more about the conforming to the world. And some people's is more just even being shadowy. Scorpio can be more superficial and shallow. You never come out from behind your ego. You never live your more authentic life. We don't do that. You shouldn't do that. You should live life like we live life. If you don't live life like we live life, and you don't hide more behind your ego, well then, shadowy people don't want to be around people who maybe are less manipulated by things that they're manipulated by, because it kind of illuminates and shows that some other people aren't manipulated by that to the degree that they are. But instead of wanting to deal with the truth of it, why do I let these things manipulate me? And shadowy energy can be that people get in their ego, which can be their competitive nature, their prideful nature, their stubborn nature. And they could just be, let's just get those people to leave somehow, because then we can just hang around the people who keep living life like the way we live it, and we don't have anybody around who's more inspired by love. If we like to view ourselves as loving people and these just and fair people, but really they're much more kind of like beehive mentality and conforming mentality, and maybe manipulative and controlling, and kind of, and a little more superficial and shallow. And they would rather just hang around people who are like that, because until they're, until it kind of keeps happening that more maybe high vibe people who are maybe more inspired, more authentic, and harnessing this energy in a high vibe way, um, don't want to keep being in friendship or relationship with them because it does feel more superficial and shallow, or you kind of have to conform. We don't like people to be more of their own individual and respect them as their own individual. To us, that's scary. Well, some people have already been around people like that. Some people could be in relationships with people like that. Some people have moved on and they've balanced out their emotions about the whole situation. They realize their idea and their dream, even though they could have love for some of those people, I can't live my life like that. And if I'm not able to be more independent or speak my truth, and I think what's going on over here, it might look good by worldly standards, but I think it's more of an illusion. I don't think people really are who they say they are. I don't think people really treat other people as their own, you know, like you're over 18, you have the free will to live your life. And high vibe people is like, I just want to work together with people in a just and fair way to be respected as my own individual. And some people are like, no, you're not supposed to do that. So this one is a Seven of Wands, and I kind of view the sevens as, and this one's a Seven of Cups, as kind of the tipping point. So some people emotionally could be more tipped in favor of being about themselves or the world, or um, other people could be more tipped in favor and being inspired by the world or immature, and other people are more tipped in favor of being inspired to not make their life so much about the world or themselves, and have taken that cup of higher love to believe there's a higher truth and justice to aspire to. And the truth is, some people don't. They might act like they do, but they really might think there is no higher truth or justice to aspire to. It's just whatever the world says you should make your life about. And the most important thing is to conform to the world so the world views you a certain way. And that's the name of the game. And other people are like, no, I think there's more to work with. And we are a human being. And yes, we work with these things of the world. But I also think I have my creative, inspired, intuitive, loving nature. I'm my own unique self. Aquarius energy can talk about that. And I want to kind of be uniquely myself and treating other people the way I like to be treated in a just and fair and loving way, but to be respected as my own individual. And I maybe don't make my life as much about conforming and being caught up in those things as other people. And when other people see that you're not, it's kind of like playing the game, which can kind of be this hierarchical structure of, well, I a shadowy relationship can be where if I have a certain status or image than you, or they think they do, um, then I should be the more deferred to person. So in a shadowy way of living life, it's all to play the game of this unspoken thing of people thinking you should more kiss their ass or indulge them. And that seems a little bit of ego, right? High vibe energy is like, I go out in the world and I treat people the way I like to be treated. And it doesn't matter, if I have more money, less money, dress this way, dress that way. Everybody is treated as their own individual on their own journey, have the free will to live their life. And I can treat other people the way I like to be treated, and I could meet all sorts of people on all different spectrums of life, and I could learn. It's kind of appreciating just authenticity in people, and but some people just aren't even authentic It's all from shadow in a way. And again, it could all be about creating this illusion about who they are. That's what motivates and inspires them. It isn't about living their truth or loving themselves or love. It's all to have these certain things are standing in the world. And, you know, someone, if it's like a romantic relationship, that one person or the other has to indulge someone. And some of the more shadowy people are like, if they can't get someone to indulge them, then they'll indulge someone else in order to have that certain status or image or those things that they want in the world. High vibe energy is truth and love, and it should be being in a relationship because of truth or love. But some people, they don't like that idea. Well, no, I want it to be more about me. And some of the shadowy people won't move forward with people who have taken that cup of love and are inspired by love to want a more just and fair relationship because they want it to be more about them. And they could think love is just something that someone is using to try to get them to indulge them in a relationship. So they have a little lack of trust in people. Shadowy Aquarius energy and Libra within themselves. Both Aquarius and Libra are air sign energy, which can be people who just live more from their mind than their heart. It's a strategy. It's a plan. This is how you're supposed to do life. And boy, I'm not going to let someone try to get me to love them. That they could just use that to try to manipulate me. Maybe because they've dealt with people who've done that before in their life. So maybe they just decided that's it. I'm not doing love. Or they had people in their life that they could have loved. They weren't allowed to be their own individual, weren't able to speak their truth. They had to indulge those people, and some of those people still do, and they don't want to see the truth of it that they do, and they don't want to see the truth that they're not really able to live their more authentic life, because it can be really destabilizing for some people to see through all these things that they tell themselves is just and fair, and then they think other people should think that is just as fair. And when other people kind of see through the illusion and they want to become independent of it, they're defensive to it and they keep doing it. And they could maybe be confused how that anybody who doesn't conform to this, you're going to, you're outside of the norm. And they're not willing to be outside the norm. And we don't have it coming up, but I'm kind of wondering if the Five of Pentacles is going to come out, because we're going to ask what's coming up for people. High vibe people would rather give up some of these things of the world than give up their own truth and being able to be independent to pursue their own dreams and aspirations and shine their more authentic light in the world. And some people don't have a problem with not doing that because they maybe never plan to shine their more authentic light in the world anyway. But maybe because some people haven't learned to love themselves, so again, they're much more codependent on people in their life or the world at large to validate their worth and value or something. What's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Libra energy? Some people have already, some of the more shadowy people, they were in relationships with people and could have had grown up in families with people where they could have had a dream come into reality, but it would have required them to get more balance within themselves, to maybe offer love to themselves and work through some issues within themselves. And, that takes a lot of work and effort. And you'd also just have to kind of temper your ego and quit kind of indulging your more immature nature. Or I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. Um, and some of them do just want to be male or female, just more immature. And if they can't be more immature or more indulged in a relationship, they don't want to be in it. And so they let go of those relationships. Well, now some of those people are indulging their more immature nature and they're going on a journey thinking they're living the life. And, I guess if that's their idea of living the dream life, that it has to be more about me or people indulging me or me being able to be more immature. Okay, well, that's what they're going to do. And other people have seen the truth of it. And sometimes it can take a long time because, you know, we can know people, but we really don't know emotionally kind of what more drives and motivates them. And some people can try to keep, maintain a certain way of being in the world because of how they want people to view them. And then they could think, oh, well, now I can do this. And because I have this certain status and image in the world, people will have a hard time believing the truth about me. But, you start indulging yourself in poor behavior. Well, that's kind of indulging in the devil, and the devil kind of gets a stranglehold on you. And you could get more and more in your ego, and you could get more and more self indulgent. And eventually, some of the people in their life who initially were defending them and buying into the illusion and didn't want to see the truth. But again, you can try to, the Seven of Cups, I kind of view it as trying to confuse people about the truth of who you are. A lot of people in their life could have really hard time accepting the truth too, for some people who do that. But eventually we can't. Shadowy energy is like staying in denial of the truth. It can be hard for people to stay in denial of the truth forever. When people start, it's one thing for people to indulge themselves in certain things, and we can extend grace to people, and we can try to be patient with people, is what the Temperance card talks about. But again, as more and more time goes by, this is like the Temperance would normally hold like one wand, and over here we have the Seven of Wands. So some people could be trying to help people kind of work through some issues again and to get back on their feet or make some better decisions in their life. But again, some people don't want to do that. And for some people, it's hard for them to see this really is more the truth of who they are. They are more caught up in themselves or these things of the world, and we never knew that. And that's when some people don't want to keep investing in them. No longer willing to stay in denial. So what's coming up for some people, though, who do harness some high vibe Libra energy? Okay, we got these cards not showing themselves, and the reason it came out is because of the Two of Wands. So it's kind of interesting because the Two of Wands is Aries energy, and Libra and Aries are on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel. And getting more balanced within ourselves, if we were kind of living more from our mind than our heart, we all can be pretty caught up and fired up about these things of the world that we want to go indulge in and manifest in our life, in our fire sign nature, and that we think in our Libra energy is just and fair. But if we start to realize, wait a minute, I might have all these things of the world, but do I have love? Am I in more just and fair relationships? Is my life balanced? It could even be some people who just got so caught up in making their career something so important that they realize that They might have had people willing to be in friendship and relationship with them for those reasons, or they were kind of really caught up in those things too. But then it's kind of like, I feel like my life is out of balance. And then people could kind of get more balanced with thinking about more what kind of motivates and inspires them, maybe at a core level, you know, is being in more balance and loving and nurturing and supportive workplaces, friendships, and relationships more important than, these certain other things that I could have made more important. So people could have realized I need to get more balance within myself. And though these jobs, friendships, relationships, or careers could have a lot of these things of the world that I want, and some of the people who might want to be in my life or people I've been in relationships with, I just feel it's more of an illusion and it's more about those reasons. And I want to be in more balanced, loving relationships. Well, for those people, because they had a dream, they probably communicated their truth to people in their life, told them how they wanted to move forward, and some people in their life will move forward with them, some people in their life won't. And they offered love to the situation to work through the emotional confusion that some of the people in their life who they wanted to have move forward with them in that way aren't. And to kind of let those people live their life, though we could be sad in the Four of Cups. But the truth is, we have different dreams and we have different things that motivate and inspire us. So the high vibe people aren't willing to let go of their dream. And because Aries energy is about the self, they were inspired within themselves to get balance within themselves. They do have a dream. There's people in their life that they want to have part of that dream. But if they spoke their truth in love to some of those people, and some of those people are like, no, you can go, I'm going to do this. Well, we have to get out of our ego about it to accept the truth of it. Give ourselves the things that we wish other people would have given us. See the truth that their truth is different for some of those people. And we move forward. I can't miss an opportunity in love with someone who doesn't really do love. I can't miss an opportunity in love with someone who's really not, that isn't the driving factor in their life. And I see the truth of it. And I'm not going to invest in people who I think harness a more shadowy Taurus philosophy of life, Aquarius, Libra, Leo, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Cancer way of life. That's their truth. And I might harness those energies differently. I am more inspired by love, but love is supposed to be just and fair, and people are supposed to be in it because of love, not for these other reasons. And me having to indulge someone or it being more about them isn't just and fair. So I'm going to let you go do that with whoever you want to do it with, and I'm moving on. I have balanced out my emotions about it. I have gotten out of my ego about it. And I'm offering myself to take that cup of love to go get the justice I deserve. I have a dream. And I think you had to detach from living your life in a more worldly, shadowy way that was aligned with these energies. And when you quit aligning with those in a more worldly, shadowy way, you are willing to let go of those people in your life that wanted you to stay in those job, friendships, or relationships, harnessing those energies in a more shadowy way. And what some people don't know is you've changed. Over here, this is the Six of Swords, so that means over here was the Five of Swords. And you added the one sword of truth to it to become the Six of Swords. Something about whatever had been going on was causing you some mental conflict. And you tried to inspire people with truth and love. And you saw the truth. That wasn't their truth. So, what did you have to let go of? The Queen of Pentacles, the World, the Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Well, there might have been a workplace, a friendship, or a relationship. I view the Queen of Pentacles like the Hierophant as Taurus energy. There could have been a workplace, there could have been someone you wanted to marry, there was someone you did marry. But you could have felt like people didn't harness high vibe Taurus energy, where they might act a certain way and they might present themselves as a certain way, like someone who acts with character and integrity, who does have hope and faith in love, or adheres to a higher truth and justice. Because high vibe Taurus of the Hierophant is kind of being a spiritual leader in the world, where you do kind of walk the talk. And you could have realized some people, they didn't want to do that. And they also maybe didn't want to offer love to their more immature nature to grow up and mature themselves. The world can talk about learning lessons. But some people emotionally are more invested in just being about themselves or making their life more about the world. And you realize your philosophy of life is different. You did offer love to your more immature nature to quit being more just about yourself or the things of the world. And you let go of that old dream and you were ready to move forward in a more emotionally mature way. And the counterpart to the Hierophant is the High Priestess, which is Cancer and Pisces energy, of more being inspired to listen to love and intuition to guide you. And so you're going on this new adventure, and you may be offered truth and love to some issues in your past so you could free yourself from them and be more independent and be more inspired within yourself to love and believe in yourself instead of conforming more to the world. And there's always some of the people you've known in your life and some of the people you could be meeting in your life. If they're still more, have a more worldly kind of shadowy view of relationships, that, well, you should want to be in a relationship with me or a friendship with me because of these more superficial reasons of the world. Some of those people are trying to be patient, kind of waiting for you to maybe take action towards them. You should see that you should want to be in a relationship with me. And what those people don't know the truth of is that you've already been in relationships with people who kind of have that viewpoint or are more caught up in those things. And you might know some people are really focused on their career. It's like, okay, well, I accept that you're more focused on your career. Maybe you just have more drive and ambition, and that's, like you could know people that are on all these committees and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, no, I don't think we're really on the same page. That's not really me. And everybody again has different dreams and different things that motivate and inspire them, and it could be kind of sad because, like, gee, I thought we seemed like we are kind of on the same page or whatever, but there might be some people that you realize that you won't be getting in a more involved relationship with because of what different people are focused on at this point in time. But some people in your life don't realize that you've kind of seen through something that maybe at one time used to manipulate you, or a person, or that you're kind of done. You kind of saw the truth of it. If I offered people the highest energy of all and I treated them in a just and fair and loving way, and to try to move a relationship forward in a more just and fair and balanced and loving way, and they kept repeating certain patterns, eventually I can't stay in denial of the truth. You go do that, and I'm going to invest in what motivates and inspires me, and I'm closing out kind of maybe investing in certain people or thinking things will change. And I'm going to walk my talk. And as you walk your talk, and you're not repeating old patterns or taking action more out of pride or ego or lust or greed, I think there's going to be other people in the world who see that you're not doing that. They know they could do that. They know you could do that. And you're not. And some of those people are like, I want to move forward with you. Not wanting to be in a relationship that's more of an illusion, or indulging people in poor behavior because you're afraid of being more independent or whatever. And other people have been in relationships with people who are like that, and they don't want it to be where, I don't know, it's the illusion of love or indulging each other. It's like, let's be truthful and authentic and just and fair and treat each other the way we like to be treated. And some people in your world right now don't know that they could think you view life more like they do, but you don't. Maybe if any of them try to get in a relationship with you or get to know you more, as they get to know you more, again, willing to treat other people the way you like to be treated, to get to know people. And can you know people and you get along with them, and you could have, if it's friends and work people or in your neighborhood, yeah, can you get along with them just fine? Yeah, as long as everybody treats other people the way they like to be treated. But if it's going to be a more romantic relationship, no, I'm not interested in getting in a more romantic relationship with someone until I figure out get to know them well enough. I have a dream I'm standing up and defending, and I love myself, and I'm not going to indulge people. So, it's to work cooperatively together, inspired by love. And if that's not your truth, then we will just know each other in the community. The only people I'm going to move forward with more are people who are inspired to work together, or romantic, inspired more by truth and love. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Libra energy that they might not see coming? And just like you could know some people that were kind of shadowy, there could be other people that you don't even know yet that are going through this. There could be some people you do know, but other people have went through similar experiences with dealing maybe with more stubborn, more egotistical, more caught up in the world, more superficial, more egoic, unstable, whatever, the immature, not really motivated by love. Those people could be doing all this work within themselves that some of you have already done. And high vibe energy is like being a good leader in the world. Again, being loving and encouraging to people in the world, but walking your talk. And for those people, we can only be a loving and encouraging person in people's life. They have to be inspired within themselves to want to do the work they need to do within themselves, to authentically more interact with people in that way. And some people are just working through some things that they could have found confusing, and kind of letting go of an old dream to move forward and get out of their ego about that. What's coming up for people who harness a more worldly, shadowy Libra energy that they might not see coming? Okay, goodness. We have the Eight of well, that's just too many. No, I was like 8. God, no, I can only... Can we do like 3 or less? What's coming up that they might not see coming? Well, for one thing, if people in their free will are not inspired by love, they will probably keep moving forward that way, because love isn't what they might want people to love them, but they don't want to offer love to other people. It's like, well, I'll act like love, I'll quack like love, but I'm not really doing love. The Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords. Why? Because of the Seven of Swords and the High Priestess. Some shadowy people. Again, the Seven of Swords is Aquarius energy. They get up in their head and in their ego. And they could be people who try to manipulate and control people. They could be a little full of themselves, thinking, look at me. I'm sure other people don't love and believe in themselves. I could look very victorious or successful or be attractive or whatever. I think those people, male or female, they think other people will want, you know, it's like, I've gotten away with it before. I think I can do it again. Oh, look at me. I'm going to do something stubborn, immature, prideful, manipulative, confusing, hurtful, unkind. And they have people in their life who have kind of been indulging them in that behavior. They do not want to listen to the truth in high vibe Gemini, or maybe connect more in with their emotions. But they can get in relationships that are mismatched. Because again, shadowy people try to present themselves as more just, fair, stable, balanced, and loving, but they like to live more from their mind than their heart and hide behind their egoic nature and maybe be more about themselves. But they get in more mismatched relationships because they don't want to be in a relationship with someone like themselves. They want to get in relationships who are people who are more inspired by truth and love. High vibe Gemini. But they harness a shadowy Gemini, but they don't want people to know it. Which just in their free will, they're more either self-protective or more about themselves or the world. And what they don't see coming is that eventually the more high vibe people in their life can't keep staying in denial of the truth. The difference between the 7 and the 1 is the 6 of Swords. The high vibe people are trying to move a relationship forward in truth and love. But the shadowy people don't really want to move it forward that way. Let's just keep doing what we've been doing and let's keep moving forward this way. Which is kind of, you have your truth, I have my truth. And our truth is different. But for a long time, more of the high vibe people in their life kind of had mental conflict about seeing the truth and listening to their intuition, so they kind of indulge them. But eventually people can't keep staying in denial of the truth. And eventually the high vibe people do this work within themselves that this isn't just and fair, this isn't balanced, this isn't loving, this isn't kind, people aren't acting with character and integrity. I might be doing that, but they're not. And eventually people are like, I'm going. You cannot offer love and live more from your mind than your heart with someone else. And that's exactly what some of those people are doing. Because it's not their truth. They're not motivated and inspired to work together with people in a more high vibe way. So they're always going to have more high vibe people who move away from them. Close out a cycle with them. Leave that job, leave that friendship, get out of the relationship, get out of the marriage. And then these people don't want to see the truth. You know, it's like it works as long as it works. And then when the gig is up in a shadowy 7 of Swords, they just try to confuse people about the truth of why it didn't work out. And then the people in their life, oh gosh, but you seem like this kind of person. And oh, I'm sure that other person, yeah, no, they're not just and fair. No, they're not loving. No, they weren't loving and encouraging, but they were. But, you know, shadowy people, I want more. I should be indulged more. I want it to be more about me. If I'm bossy and controlling, I want to be more bossy and controlling. If I've been getting away with some bullshit, I want to get away with more bullshit. Enough is never enough. I want more. And eventually the people in their life see it. Enough is never enough. It's like it's trying to fill up a black void. And there'll be other people who come in their life. It's like God uses everyone for God's good purposes. There's a lot of people in the world who need to learn the truth about people like this. And the next person will come in their life and they'll probably do the exact same thing. And those people will buy into the illusion of who they are. Or, yeah, they want to be in a friendship or relationship, or, a new employee comes and works for that person. Or they're the awful coworker that a company doesn't fire. And other people come in, and then it's up for those people. They have the free will to decide if they're okay with manifesting this or if they're not. The high vibe people already saw the truth and they already moved on. Some people are deceiving themselves. They're kind of full of themselves and they keep thinking some people who already saw the truth of them and moved on, they think they're going to come back. Oh, they won't love and believe in themselves. They'll come on back. And they're not seeing the truth. With these cards not showing themselves, they don't realize that the other people already closed out a cycle with them. They saw the truth. Every day that the high vibe people in their life acted in truth and love and justice and fairness and holding people accountable for their actions, and they kept doing this, eventually the other people had no choice but to accept the truth. You're not who I thought you were. You present yourself a certain way, but that's not the truth of who you are. And out of love for myself, I'm not going to repeat that pattern. And they got out of their ego about those people. From the Seven of Wands down to the Two of Wands, they let go of the Five of Wands. And those people are moving forward, going on a new adventure. It's just the shadowy people sometimes just don't know that yet. Because they keep thinking, oh no, they'll be back. In the meantime, shadowy people don't act with character and integrity and truth and love. They could definitely go get themselves in another relationship in order to try to manipulate some other people. And as some high vibe people are moving forward, they don't want to be a part of anybody who's doing that. I do not want to be a pawn in your game to try to manipulate someone else. And some high vibe people that they're just trying to get to know are listening to their intuition about these people. They've already dealt with people who are like that. And the high vibe people are kind of keeping their distance and they're not chasing after them. Shadowy people might want some people to chase after them. And though some people could find new people they meet in the world attractive or charming or whatever, they're just offering them truth and love to get to know them. And if the other people don't seem to be equally willing to work with them, okay, well then I'm not chasing after you. If you want someone to chase after you, it's going to have to be someone else. I've already known people who are like that. So I'm going to keep walking my talk, and you can go do that and think one day I'm going to chase after you, but I'm never going to chase after you. I will treat you like I treat anyone else. And if you're not willing to get out of your ego to work together with me more, then I don't want to be in a relationship with someone like that. And ultimately, the shadowy people will probably be surrounded with other people who are more like themselves. Other people who create the illusion that they're more just and fair and motivated and inspired by love, but who are equally being deceptive and manipulative, using their words, their sexuality, their emotions, their status, their image, whatever they got, to equally manipulate them. The problem is that people aren't inspired by truth and love in a relationship. Why are they in it? If someone comes along who's got more status and image, they'll be gone. And they could be the one who's kind of left behind. The player gets outplayed by a player. What if someone they get in a relationship with and it's like, well, I have to more indulge you. I want to be the one more indulged. Well, if they find someone who might have went through some experience that is sad, well, hey, I think I'll go get in a relationship with that person. I think I could make them buy into who I am. And I think they'd be more willing to indulge me than you. Shadowy people want to be the more indulged person in the relationship. But they all might be trying to maintain balance within it. If they are in a relationship with someone more like themselves, because I think ultimately they really want to manipulate a loving person. But if they can't find a loving person to manipulate, because those people have learned too many lessons along the road of life, they might end up having to be in a relationship, maybe even with people they don't even really want to be in a relationship with. But because that person also is kind of like them and they're maybe willing to stay in the relationship, well, then they'll stay in the relationship and they'll both be hiding the truth that we stay in the relationship more for these other reasons. And we both know neither one of us really wants to do love. And we can't find either someone with more status image or more fear, more insecurity, or a loving person to manipulate. So we're going to stay in it. Wonderful. There you go, Libra. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.